Hey guys, we have a lot of catching up to do, and we will spread the new material across several upcoming videos, starting with this one, since we can't fit them all within one video. So the new material in our upcoming sequence of videos will consist of where we are in our search for securing consistent, reliable, and precise flux measurements and graphs, where we are in our decision to do a crowdfunding campaign to secure this flux data, and our decision to use an algorithm we developed over 30 plus years of a process of trial and error to time the silver market trends to achieve the needed seed funding for this channel. And you guys will be able to follow along real time as we do this. We call it the Holy Grail. It's about 82% successful each time that we do it. And basically it cuts the monetary losses and lets the profits run. So we're hoping to get like maybe $1,000 or $2,000 in seed money doing this. We will also show you evidence that allows us to say with very good confidence what is not the blocking material that is causing the long-term accelerating dimming of Tabby star. And we will also show you the conversion of the normalized version of the equation of the long-term accelerating dimming curve to a visual magnitude version and the slight tweaking we did to the equation and why we did it. But for today's topics, we will go over the current normalized flux graph of Tabby star for today, August 3rd, and we'll do this by showing you a light curve update from Bruce Gary. He uses a model of an inverted Gaussian curve to represent the long-term accelerating dimming curve as the nominal flux demarcation. We will also show and describe Bruce Gary's theory on the long-term accelerating dimming curve and what he thinks is causing it and where it goes from here. So this is Bruce Gary's normalized flux graph taken in the V band, and it has the latest measurement he took today circled in red, and we are tracking to the long-term accelerating dimming curve. The important thing to note here is that the normalized flux is a demarcation of the long-term accelerating dimming curve in this graph, which is the proper way to do it, by the way. And this is the very thing that was detrended out in the flux graphs that we have now rejected. Anyway, Bruce modeled this as an inverted Gaussian curve, which you'll see in just a minute. And Bruce Gary states, for this observation, I observed Tabby star during a 1.3-hour sucker hole last night and obtained a result that confirms my visual magnitude of 4 nights ago. Namely, we are now in an out of transit state, i.e. no new dips is in process. I am becoming more convinced that my inverted Gaussian model for the long-term fade is a suitable representation for the past 2 years of out-of-transit behavior. Guys, before we go to our second topic of Bruce Gary's theory on the long-term accelerating dimming of Tabby star, I want to say a few things about our last video. I come from a very different background than astronomers and astrophysicists. I am a electrical and electronics engineer by education and by experience in the work world. And we do things a lot differently than in academia. We do things fast, and I think one person on Reddit said that we are doing things at the speed of the internet. But that's the way that we keep ahead of our competitors and adversaries. So if I seemed a little frustrated that our theory of the accelerating long-term dimming was being accepted slowly and grudgingly, I apologize. I did not mean to offend anyone. While I'm on this topic, in the engineering field, we don't design something and then peer review it and then go straight to manufacturing. It doesn't work that way in the real world. What we do is we take our designs and we build brass boards, breadboards, engineering models, prototypes, and we test the heck out of them. And they rarely work correctly the first time, so we make tweaks to the designs and prototype the newer versions and test them again and repeat this over and over until we perfect the designs. And with my background, this is the approach I am comfortable with, and that's what I think we should do in studying this star. The whole peer review process is glacier slow and I think archaic. So this channel is going to feature theories that are measurable, and we're going to test and prove or disprove them. And that's why we put our long-term accelerating dimming theory out there to track and test out. You shine the bright public light on these theories and let them fall or stand as time progresses. And that's now what we want to do with Bruce Gary's theory on the long-term accelerating dimming of Tabby star. So this is Bruce Gary's inverted Gaussian long-term fade model. And notice that he properly shows the accelerating curve that is very similar to what we have shown on this channel. The only big difference is that he shows an eventual slowing down of the long-term accelerating dimming curve, and then a reversal sometime in 2018 where the star starts to brighten up once again. And Bruce states, the long-term fade may be produced by a stretched out dust cloud in an outer orbit, whereas the brief but deeper dips that have produced the most excitement are produced by small dust clouds, one or more inner orbits. The stretching out of the outer orbit dust cloud is straightforward, since any expansion of particles from a collision would send some particles in slightly different orbits with slightly different periods. If the periods have a range of 1%, for example, after 100 orbits, the dust cloud would have a torus shape and it would be capable of obstructing starlight continuously. As the torus circular cross-section expands without changing orbit size, one edge of the torus would eventually enter our line of sight to the star. This is when we would observe the beginning of a gradual increasing fade. The torus may expand to completely obstruct the star, but when that happens, it would be optically thin and produce only a small fade. Continued expansion would be accompanied by diminished loss of dust density along our line of sight, so expansion would eventually be associated with a recovery of star brightness. The inverse Gaussian model that I have employed for fitting the out-of-transit observations call for a maximum fade of approximately 3% in 1 or 2 years, followed by a slow recovery to normal star brightness in 5 to 10 years. During all that time, there will probably be short fades lasting a few days, produced by dust clouds in orbits much closer to the star, but not closer than approximately 0.2 astronomical units, with orbit periods of at least 4 weeks, but not less, due to the temperatures for closer orbits causing the particles to sublimate to gas. So this is a very testable theory, and we thank Bruce for putting this forward. If in fact the long-term dimming starts to reverse next year, then he may be right. As you know, we on this channel believe that the acceleration will continue on, but both can't be correct. And this is a very neat and testable theory. So guys, a lot is going on and we have a lot more material to cover. So we will end now and pick back up in our next video. Take care, guys.